Welcome back to Delta Hands. To fully understand the concepts of our next artist would take more than the 7-minute conversation ahead. But if you listen closely, perhaps you may contribute to the ideas of Bob Wiggs.
I was born and raised in the country, and it was necessary to know about natural patterns because we lived off the land. It was during the Depression, and with a nature study you find patterns. Everything seems to grow in some kind of pattern, and I discovered after 20 or 25 years of looking at patterns, recording them, drawing them, photographing them, doing three-dimensional models of them, I discovered that you could learn more about the structure by looking at the cracks or the spaces between, which I now call foundation sutures, than you could by looking at the object itself or the material. I discovered that there are only two little spaces between, or sutures, and this is one, and this is one called, this is called canine, and this is called bovine, because if you relate them to teeth, then if you keep adding these, this will make a canine jaw for the meat eaters, and if you keep adding teeth to this, which are flat on the bottom, you'll get a string of flat teeth, and those are the ones that eat the veggies, not meat. So those can be put together in strings, and the strings are wrapped into rings, and then with caps on the rings, it makes a polyhedron. You add either a canine unit or a bovine unit to the ring, and then when you add the caps, they do the same. They add one unit to each one, and it just keeps on going. I do not have any idea how far this goes or what happens to the shapes. Somebody would have to do that, would be willing to take a lot of time and do that on a computer for me. How things come together and twist and come apart and explode and then gradually come back together and then multiply, and all sorts of things keep on going. And I can't live long enough to do all the possible twists. But all you need is one loop. You can do all of the gymnastics of the twists. All possible twists can be done with one loop. And the sculpture now that I'm making is like dipping a wire loop in soap suds, in a soap solution, so that the surface is not completely minimal, because I've left little bulges and everything, but essentially the idea is that if you take this wire form, like the tennis ball loop, and dip it in a soap solution, you would get this form, except thinner, much thinner. Here's one that comes off the tetrahedron. Tetrahedron has one twist. It's a 2, twist, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. See, it has a twist. Most people look at it this way, and it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. But if you look at it this way with an axis that bisects edges, then you get the twist. Twist, twist. So here's a little wooden piece, 2, 2, 2. It also has, so it comes off the tetrahedral idea. So these two are essentially the same, except one is curvilinear and the other is angular. And this fits in the spaces between this one instead of on the wood. It fits in the spaces. The twist is one of nature's great shaping devices, all the way from the DNA to the biggest hurricane you can think of. They're all the galactic systems are all twisting. So everything is, you couldn't tie your shoes, no. An engine wouldn't operate. Everything is either twisting or untwisting. Everything in nature. And it may be so slow that you can't see it, or it may happen so quickly that you can't see it. but nothing stays just the same. It's always either twisting or untwisting. I have no dry spells. The idea is one, and it just continues because it's everywhere. Everything, anything I look at, these patterns are there, and they're friends of mine now, and I'm with them all day, every day. But I'm interested in learning more, and if I just stay in the arts and make sculpture, I won't learn anything new. I have to get out of my field and get into other fields. And I'm always hoping that when I have a show or when I present a paper, someone will come up and offer me some new information about something they know about the forms that I'm working with that I don't know. Because these little forms that I'm working with are universal. They cut across all the boundaries. They're in chemistry, they're in physics, they're in geometry. So again, it's wide open. I couldn't live long enough to use up all the ideas for all the forms that I could make, even if I had more hands and people helping in a factory. I couldn't use up all the ideas. So you can see why this is a simple, little, flexible loop can keep you busy for more than a lifetime. That's really something. To get something that simple, yet that complex, or could be that complex.
Next up on Delta Hands, we meet infinity in front of the Cabildo.